this year, I think somewhere around May or April, back to you on our discussions with him on the environmental sector and the ministry that he was handling. And it's a very sad situation, very, very sad. But we are still back here for God and country. We need to make sure that the country moves on. So we'll take a quick break. When we come back, I'll go straight into the discussion. You want to stick and stay with me.
Sometimes the unexpected happens and the hero falls down in his own story. But he needs not stay down for long. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance is your trusted health partner. Whether an individual building a business, with Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern. For the best health insurance solutions for corporate institutions, groups and associations, families and individuals, choose Cosmopolitan Health Insurance from our over 700 accredited health service providers nationwide. Call us on 0302 540 668 or 0501 678 547 for all your health insurance solutions. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern.
Some loves are born in the blink of an eye, and they kill your soul in a flash. Televisa presents You Are the One. Angela dreams of keeping her promise to be a great doctor and help her people. To Alvaro, ambition is stronger than his dream, and this greed will lead him to commit the worst betrayal to the woman he loves, turning all her dreams into painful disappointments and dangerous consequences.
Llevo horas esperando que me contestes, Álvaro. No he sabido nada de ti, te mandé muchos mensajes y no me contestas.
Ya te saliste de la terminal.
Tal de pagarle y poderme salir de esto.
Con estas fotos vamos a vender muy, pero muy bien a nuestra minita de oro.
¿Estás novio? ¿Estás bien?
You're welcome back from the break, and we'll be getting straight into the discussion pretty shortly, but I have a video that I'm going to play for you. Let me just make you know that my guest is in the studio already. My guest is the Vice President of the National Fisheries Association of Ghana, Richester Ni Ama Amafiu. Chief, you're welcome.
Thank you, my brother.
Thank you very much for honoring your
The name
promise.
is Richester, actually.
Oh, so last week we had to go through that, and then this week. So Richester, let me put it down well. So Richester Ni Ama
Amafiu.
Ni Ama Amafiu.
There's a difference between Ama and Ama.
Wow, what's the difference?
Okay, so Ama is spelled A-R-M-A-H.
Yes.
Mine is spelled A-M-A-R-H. Ama.
A-M-A-R-H. But what does it mean anyway?
Well, these are Ghana names. Ama is the firstborn son. I am from Tema. I'm a native of Tema. So, you know, you have Ama in Tema, La, Teshin. And normally we have Ama around Gamashi.
Okay. Okay. So yours is Richester Ni
Ama
Amafiu. Ni Ama Amafiu. But let me say thank you very much for honoring the invitation at least.
You know, I almost ran away because I was here yesterday. I was here last night, so I almost had to. I was finding excuses.
Yes,
but I gave you my word, and I love
the country, the state that the country is in now.
You know, Mutala is my very good friend.
Okay.
When I started doing TV and TV Africa, we were co-panelists. And we were all teachers. I also trained as a teacher, and so we've been very good friends. And I have tried not to talk about it because of the shock,
yes.
and so I've not posted on it. I've not said anything. I've just stayed very quiet because losing a young life like that. This is the first I'm publicly speaking about it, and even stating that Muntala and me had been friends for quite a long time.
He's a very affable man, open to
a very capable person,
yeah.
and Dr. Manimbuama as well as all those who lost their lives. We can't have losing one life is when prematurely is not good enough. When the person has served his country and is retired and enjoyed his retirement and he goes, then you see the person off very well. But
that's fine. And for me, it's the way and manner in which they actually died. It's a very sad.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That losing anybody prematurely isn't the best. People must serve their full time. But the Bible says in everything you give thanks to God, even when it's very difficult. You still have to obey, because obey is better than sacrifice. So we don't know how we can thank God in it, but we still have to thank God in it. So let's thank God that He gave us people like them that we happen to know and who happen to have served the country and be a motivation and mentor for many other people. People may learn from their service. That's what we hope. My condolence still goes to their family.
Yes.
It's sad the way they went. And I was talking to someone, I was like, I can imagine what they may be going through when the helicopter collapsed. What was going through their mind.
The immediate thoughts and
the thought of their children, their family.
Oh, so sad.
And all of that.
So sad.
And it's because of those emotions I have tried as much as possible
not to write about it, not to
talk
comment.
about it. Yeah.
It's sad. But today we are here to talk about fish. I mean, for us. But before we do that, I told you last week that we have dedicated some weeks to agric entirely.
Yeah.
And there is a video we have on seed culture. I'm told that it's the first of its kind.
We call it mariculture.
Mariculture. Okay.
Not seed culture.
Not seed culture. Wow. Okay, but we have one on the seed bank, and that's the same as the mariculture.
Yes, so anything that relates to the culturing of fish within the coastal belt is called mariculture.
Not seed.
Not seed culture.
So I have
So you see, we have aquaculture.
So last week you were explaining to us
the
difference between the catch.
Yes, so we have the capture fishery.
The capture fishery.
And then the aquaculture or the so the aqua simply means water.
Yes.
So you have freshwater culture, the one that we do with tilapia and catfish. And then we have mariculture, which is when we are culturing seafood. So it could be shrimps, it could be any other seafood, it could be tuna. It's actually mariculture.
Mariculture.
Yeah.
Okay.
So marine culture.
Okay.
It's got freshwater culture and marine culture.
Let's see if we have the video, then we'll begin our discussions from there.
Good afternoon, sir. You're welcome to Mango Ase Community Seed Bank. The Mangwase Community Seed Bank is the first ever community seed bank established in Ghana, 23rd November 2023, through the Biodiversity International and collaborating with News Network Limited, and also supported by the Netherlands Embassy. Unlike other banks we know, someone may ask, why seed banks? Looking at some of the factors due to climate changes, natural disasters, and also social factors.
Usually there's a very common thing that you hear, that in most African countries, when you look at African families, you either find their parents or the grandparents as a farmer or as farmers. And so you see that these people have grown food for a very long period of time. You know, so I do believe that, yes, now there's the scientific knowledge, there's a lot of research, but they also have some wealth of knowledge.
My name is Iman Ramati. I'm a farmer at this town called Tetekofi, near New Mangwase. And I planted pepper, okra, garden eggs, watermelon, cabbage, and other crops such as cassava, plantain, and others. I've been in farming about 40 years now. And the farming, we have so many challenges now because of climate change. Some of our crops is not growing. If you planted the thing and it's growing, then it tends to become yellowish. Then it fades out. And so some time ago, we decided to seek for the agric advice about that disease. But we realized that our main seed that belongs to our country is now facing out. And we are using some of our Greek seeds. So this is the reason why our farm is facing problem. So why Mr. Nyadunu decided that we should bring our seed back. So we decided to start a seed bank to keep it. When we need it, then we go there and take it.
The main purpose for setting up establishing this community seed bank was to conserve our local foods, which we consume, but not giving much attention to it. And due to some of our social factors and natural factors, we are losing them rapidly. So there was a need for us to create this seed bank so that all these seeds can be stored for our future use.
As a civil society organization, our role is to be able to partner with these networks, to amplify their story, very importantly, so that I believe it can also contribute to reducing the notion that our local seeds are not resistant enough to the impact of climate change. Because when you're able to document and amplify the stories of how these communities are saving the indigenous seeds and they are using them in a very profitable way, then we'll be able to take control of our narrative.
We were mostly trying to deal with neglected seeds. There are some seeds that when we were kids, we were seeing them, some fruits, but as time goes on, they keep on, vanishing. They are now turning to the wild. Yeah. So we saw it that it would be a very great opportunity to have this seed bank here. So we meet once in a month. Then we talk about whatever is going on, climate change, all those things that are related to agriculture.
The activities which takes place here, the farmers who brought in their seeds, the seeds they have, we collect their seeds, we take their names, their details, the variety, the particular crop, the seed of the particular crop, the variety, the quantity the farmer brought, and also we ask the farmer based on the taste or maybe the attributes of that particular crops. So we document everything in the notebook and take their particulars from the farmer. So in case we need that seed, then we can contact that farmer and go for that seeds again. So we collect the seeds, we sort them and dry them in the sun. So we check the moisture quantity of the moisture quantity within the seeds. So when they are after drying them, so we saw them out from dirt and stones and other things before we package them in the container. And with the containers too, we label them with numbers and codes for easy identification.
We know that Africa, agriculture system is dominated by lots of smallholder farmers. And sometimes they do not even have much to take their children to school. But now, since it's expensive, fertilizer is expensive, and at the end of the day, when they are able to get money to buy all of that to grow their food, they also inherit a lot of post-harvest losses because of the impact of climate change. And so I believe that it's about time now our government reorients themselves, and then we go back. I believe that's why there's a lot of attention around indigenous knowledge now.
We have some people, their seed is not correct. They planted it, rotation. So we have a seed now, we are planting, and we take the seed and we send to them. For those who are seed are facing out, then they come and take that seed and go and plant it. We have some seed which is not marketable. If you plant and you go market, you don't get anybody to buy it. But if we sit down and decided because of money, that seed will phase out. But because of climate change, if we get that seed, maybe it will be good because it belongs to our country.
So with the advent of this seed bank, I think we will be able to maintain a lot of our seeds. It's all based on education, right? When we go out there and we educate the farmers that there is a seed bank here, would you just imagine there's somebody who is around Tinkon or so, doesn't know whether there's even a seed bank here. And we have also realized that once this seed bank is here, the opportunity of us getting other resource people to come so that we may have a first-hand feel of whatever is going on in agriculture as well.
The farmer managed seed system is a way that farmers will be able to store the indigenous seeds and learn how best they can use it. It can be modified for them to be able to withstand the impact of climate change, and also to be able to preserve and conserve their culture. Even the Global Goal on Adaptation has a target that is looking at cultural heritage, cultural preservation of our cultural heritage, because we know that food signifies different things for different communities.
If we do our farms, the first yield, we didn't harvest. We leave it to dry. So that dry one, we pick it and select the seed and send to the seed bank before we started harvest the others. If we don't do something like that, future, there will be a great problem, because currently some of the...
Also, that's very unique in the country. We'll keep bringing that video to you in subsequent productions, maybe twice or three times. That's something that's happening in the eastern region, and I'm sure that lots of people who are into farming, who are into agric, would want to take an interest in that. And that was actually bringing a new topic, not really a new topic, but one of the dimensions of the topics that we are discussing with Rich Star here in the studio. And we were actually thinking it was mariculture.
Yeah.
Mariculture that was going to be played, but this is seed bank, actually. So we'll keep bringing that back to you. But let's begin our discussions tonight. We'll discuss the bill. We'll go into the nautical miles and all of the things. And I'm seeing this here. We began the discussions back in the studio about the post-harvest of the things you do, tuna and so on and so forth, and some of the things that you're able to do. But let's begin with the mariculture. I'll come to the tuna and the deep sea activities and all of the things that we were talking about last week.
Yeah.
So what the mariculture is, we had begun explaining it.
Yeah,
and then we'll take it from
so the mariculture is any form of culturing of fish or raising of fish within the marine environment, within the salt environment. So in Adam, for instance, there were some Vietnamese who partnered some Ghanaians to do shrimp farming. And
shrimp?
Yeah. They were doing tiger shrimp.
Okay.
And that is supposed to be, but they had a mix of the water and because, shrimps spawn in the mangroves. So they were harvesting the live shrimp, and then sometimes they taught the fishermen what it means when the shrimp is gravid. And when we say the fish is gravid, we mean it's pregnant. And then they will hatch it. They will hatch. We have a hatchery in there, and one shrimp will produce millions of eggs that will put in the hatchery, and then they will put in the farm, the ponds that they had created, which is a mixture of seawater and the water to get some level of salinity, some salt level that is acceptable, and that is reviewed periodically. The last time I was there a few years ago, I saw that the activity had slowed down. So when we went to Rhode Island the last time, we went to one of their labs, and they had a lab where they were catching yellowfin tuna, and then they were catching bluefin tuna. They were also catching some other fish species, particularly shellfish, in the lab, and they have a hatchery that allows them to hatch so that they can put them back into the wild. So fish mariculture is basically about catching fish. Why have we not been able to do it very well in Ghana? You see, you need, one, security. Are we going to get adequate security for the farms?
Security as in?
So that people, against pilfering, people don't go in there to steal what is not for them. So do we have adequate security? Secondly, you need what we call sheltered bay. We have a lot of open sea and high tides.
Yes.
If you go to a country, if you fly and land in Norway, you see that they have a lot of sheltered bay. They have a lot of more like islands. And so they have calm waters.
Okay.
So they are able to do a lot of mariculture. If you go to Philippines, they also have a lot of islands, so they have a lot of sheltered bays. The last time we were in China, we went to a place, Yantai. And Yantai is where one of the factories that does food. And we went to one of their mariculture facilities. It's not just a mariculture facility. It's a huge facility that has a conference center, has facility for weddings, has hotel facility right in the middle of the sea. So you go there.
In the middle of the sea?
Yeah. So you go there with, it's huge, so huge. So you go there in a vessel to the facility. So people go there and spend days having conference, and they have beautiful restaurants in there. And then they have the culture, the fish culture activity. And they were catching high quality fish like groupers and others. And you could even view them from, they have something like a camera that you could view the fish from the camera and see the fish.
Oh, as they are.
As they are in the sea. And a lot of tourists travel from all over the place to go and see, have their weddings, have their conferences in there. And then they eat seafood just from their fish farm, not from
directly.
the
I mean, they are catch from there, and then
it's so beautiful. But like I'm saying, you need to have sheltered bays to be able to have a proper.
Do that, yes.
If you look at our water, we actually do not have a lot of sheltered bays.
Okay.
You may look around, probably behind Regional Maritime University, you could have a place where you could do something. Probably towards the eastern part of the country, you may have calmer waters. But when you have high tides, we always have a problem. And that is why in one of my, on a number of presentations I have done, I have said that we need to review the way we do we construct our sea defense wall.
Okay. That's a new. I mean, we are veering off a bit from our discussion.
No, we are not.
But let me allow you. Sea defense wall.
Yeah.
We didn't mention that last week.
Yeah, we didn't. But
you go on there. I'll still come back to all the things you explained to us the industrial trolls, the types of
I'll come back to that.
All of that. We'll come back to that.
See,
and then
look at Sakuma Lagoon.
We'll do the bill too.
Look at Sakuma Lagoon.
Yes.
One of the major problems we have is the flow of water into the lagoon and out of the lagoon, because the lagoon should be able to desilt itself. But they constructed the road and then created 2 small holes and then filled the whole place with rocks. So you lose the habitats because you have coastal habitats. Now, as against what I saw in Cyprus, they created breakwater. So the sea defense wall was some meters into the ocean. So it's
not in the land.
Not on the land. So then it slows down the tides.
But water still comes into the space.
So you still have the water in the space,
but
now
the tide
it
is
calm
down.
So you don't have you don't even have any tides at all.
Right.
So if you create sea defense wall in that form, what it means that you may artificially create a sheltered bay, and you could grow your juvenile in there to now recruit into the ocean.
Yes.
But if you fill the coastline, and I ask myself, do we use a lot of coastal engineers in designing our sea defense wall? All you are doing is that we probably may be thinking about reclaiming, but
reclaiming the land, and nothing else.
Yes, but you are destroying basically the ecosystem. And I was thinking we would have to review the way we do some of these things. Japan also does.
Have you suggested these to governments? I mean, different governments over there.
Well, it's one thing we've been talking about, and I'm sure government officials.
Because you have the experience.
No, I'm sure.
Practical experience.
People,
You're giving me the example.
I won't assume I know better than them.
No, not necessarily, but you have the experience.
No, I wasn't in Cyprus alone. I was in Cyprus with government officials. We all saw it. You get it, and we discussed
that. You don't just do the sea defense; you do it to protect the ecosystem, not just the protection of the land.
Of the land, yeah.
But here in Ghana, we do it to protect the land.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
But that's what I'm saying.
We need to go beyond that.
Yes.
And when that happens, what you are able to do then is that you would be able to create a space to grow juvenile if you want to. And then when people want to swim, they can conveniently swim without any danger.
Yes.
Because the waters will be calm. And even if the sea is taking them away, they will hit the wall, so they may not go. You may find them to be able to to rescue them from any form of danger. And I'm thinking we should look at that again. And then the rate at which we are destroying our inland water body is serious. It's so sad that we don't care. The lagoons, the estuaries, and all of that.
And the ones in the eastern region, the Galamseys.
Yeah. So the issue is that, you see, there's always a relationship between fresh water and marine water. Because all the fresh water ends up in the ocean. The fishermen go fishing and all they harvest are plastics.
Yes. And
you walk along our coast and there are dump sites. In other jurisdictions, the coasts are beautiful sites that people want to go and sit and enjoy. Whereas in some jurisdictions, the coastline are for the affluent. In our case, the coastline are for dumping of refuse and all of that.
Refuse and the things you can't mention.
If we want to deal with our fisheries problems, we need to deal holistically with how we treat the entire fresh aquatic environment. I won't say the freshwater or the marine aquatic environment, both freshwater and marine water. We need to look at our wetlands and how we treat our wetlands and all of that. Because they all contribute, one way or the other, to the sustenance of our fishery resources.
One of the major issues that you had raised last week was for the country concentrating on research, most importantly, to look at not just the fishing, but post-harvest activities and so on and so forth. I want you to go back to it, maybe run around or summarize the need for the research as a country, why we need it most important. You had explained it last week, but there are a number of people who were asking, can he come back? And I mentioned that, yes, you agreed to come back. And then after the fishing has been done, we have caught the fish. All we know for most of us is the adjoining on the shore, which is being smoked for us to go and buy. The ones that will come into the restaurants for us to go and buy. But I see the fish. So let me allow you the time to go through.
Well, you see, we made proposal for a blue economy. Mm-hmm. The blue economy goes beyond just activities at sea. Seaweeds. Some countries are seriously researching into seaweeds for pharmaceutical and food purposes.
Is it the weeds that grow in the sea? Or
the sea has, the bottom of the ocean has different types of weeds.
Yes, yes.
Some of the weeds are washed ashore, and we don't even know what to do with them. Some countries are researching into them as to whether they could even use them for animal feed, for purposes of human food, and for medicinal purposes. And so, if you want to grow the blue economy, you probably would have to now begin to look at all the various sectors. Because you see, the ocean is vast, has more resources than the resources we have on land. So if you have access to the ocean and you have overflow of fishermen like we have, you need to begin to train them to do other things.
Yes.
So I'm just talking about what people are doing with seaweeds. And you go to restaurants in China and they are serving seaweeds as part of their meal.
For people to eat.
For people to eat. And people are, just like you have the food we eat are weeds.
Yes.
Basically. Yes. So seaweeds has
the
value.
dandelions that we buy and all of those.
Yes, so the seaweeds have value. We need to now research into what value they have. In Tema, we dry the anchovies on the bare floor. And we've been doing that before I was born. We still dry them on bare floor. China today do not dry anchovies on the bare floor. They use solar dryers. And then they do vacuum packing. They package them and they put them on the shelf. It has probably far more value than all the anchovies that we dry on the bare floor. Now, when the post-harvest value is high, the fisherman become rich. Because it doesn't need to bring the whole sea down to make money. And you'll be able to move some people from actual fishing into some post-harvest activities, marketing and all of that.
Yes, I agree.
So you now need to put some concentration on the post-harvest activities. Like I said, we went to one of our companies in China, and the production line, apart from, and they produce what we normally call sashimi. Sashimi is a raw tuna that Japanese particularly eat. So it's frozen below a certain temperature, sometimes below -60 degrees.
Oh.
Yeah, and then it's cut, and so it needs to have the best hygienic condition because it's eaten raw.
Oh, it is not cooked?
It's not cooked. It's eaten raw. It's nice when you try it. one day we'll go to one Japanese or Chinese restaurant and order for
We'll see. Below -60 degrees.
Yes, and you order for some sashimi and then you see. So it's eating. If I went to a cold room and I couldn't stand there for 5 seconds because it was so cold. And when the fish comes, it's so hard. It's like wood. And then after the sashimi, they take fish oil and they make medicines or supplements from fish oil. They make facial masks from...
No, face masks?
The facial masks that the women use to clear their faces. I brought a number of them and I gave it to some women to try. And they still ask me
whether you can get...
If I could still get them all. You know, that trip I went on that trip with the former Minister for Fisheries, and then when we came back, she still asked for more because it was better than any facial mask she has used. There were products that were made from the skin of the fish for surgical thread, the dissolving one. So they made that from the skin of the fish. So these are high-valued post-harvest products from fish that probably will give you more value than the whole fish. You know,
but people don't know. We don't know about this
because we don't research. We don't research into it. We are talking about people who have researched and they know what they would do.
But what has been learned, what has been researched in other places, could easily be brought to Ghana.
No, that is when
for
we,
example,
that is,
the thread.
That is
I
when
know that when a surgery is done and they have to sew it back. I'm sure that's the kind of thing you're talking about.
My people went for a meeting in Morocco. I didn't go, and they bought ice cream that was made from fish. Yeah, ice cream that was made from fish. So the last time the women who buy our tuna had their inauguration, they made different types of food from tuna, and they invited the Food Research Institute, and then I remember I spoke with those who came and I said, look, I'm ready to give you a ton of fish, tuna. Just go and research into what we could do with it. Beyond just smoking the tuna and selling. What is it that we could do?
But you already have done something. And
we are not doing this.
Just give me 1 minute. Let me go on break and come. Okay. Because we are talking about the tuna, and I'm going to ask you whether you get some form of funding from government to be able to go deep sea. Last week you explained to us the types of catchfish levels that you have. You mentioned the ones that can go deeper into the seas to fish for the tuna, which is a very large vessels. Yeah. You mentioned from the small scale to the very large ones. But these ones that can bring us revenues like these, do you have funding for them? And then you'll explain to me how you're able to do this. But let me go on a quick break and come back so that we can do all that and do the bill before we round up.
Branch manager. Of course, I accept only quality and affordable printed souvenirs for my promotional campaigns.
I'm the head of academic affairs of a very important institution in Ghana. Of course, we only deal with quality, reliable printing companies for our institution's printing materials. I'm talking about appointed time printing.
Appointed Time Printings. We take pride in our extensive print scope that transform your ideas into captivating visual masterpieces. We delve into the core objectives and vision of each print project. Precision printing is at the heart of our printing process as we meet your tight deadlines. Our rigorous inspection, color verification, and overall printing excellence are assured. 20 years of printing excellence. It's always a pleasure working with you to create a vibrant, dazzling printing experience that gives you a masterpiece. Appointed Time Printing, your world of quality and affordable printing.
Televisa presents You Are the One. Alejandra Robles Gil, Brandon Peniche, Danilo Carrera, Bárbara Islas, Ernesto Laguardia, and a great cast.
Well, you're welcome back from the break. So we are continuing our conversation from last week. I'm sure that if you missed the part one, or if you are not getting a lot of things tonight, you need to go and watch the part one, which is from last week, and you will make a full comprehension of what we are talking about. So let me just come back to you and leave you to it. And then you will explain and come to how you are able to do this.
Like I said, I'm not the one who did it. This is a product.
But you have partners who are.
No, this is a product.
Based on research.
Yes, this is a product in China, and it's not in Ghana.
And this is tuna oil. Let me put it on.
Yeah, this is tuna oil.
And this is not for advertisement. This product is not here in Ghana. So I mean, we are learning about the proceeds.
So when we went for the trip in China, they gave us these ones, and they still give me anyway. And for those who have high sugar, it normalizes their sugar. And I gave it to a friend who had challenges with the leg, and when he took it, he felt okay after a few
He wasn't able to walk?
He wasn't able to walk well. He was walking, and he told me that now he could walk because of this. And he was always pestering me forever. I told him, look, these are not products.
And this is made from tuna?
It's made from tuna oil.
Tuna oil?
Yeah.
But can't we do that here in Ghana?
We have a lot of tuna. We could do.
We
that.
have a lot, so we can.
We have more tuna than China.
We have more tuna in Ghana than in China.
Yes.
From you guys that are able to go deep sea.
No, Ghana is one of the highest producers of tuna in the Atlantic.
Wow.
That's no joke.
And we don't get anything from it apart from eating it.
And exporting it to the EU.
Oh, well, and exporting it to the EU.
Yeah.
And you are saying that there is a lot more post-harvest activities that can be done with tuna. Including what you have done here.
Including what the Chinese have done. I have not done it.
Well, they are your partners, so we'll put it that way.
Yeah.
We have a long way to go as a country.
Oh, yeah, we have. So that's why I'm saying that it's not about saying that I'm standing on IEZ. That is the solution to the problem. We have I've looked at the law, and I remember when we met with the Parliamentary Select Committee, I told them that if I had my own way, I wouldn't write Ghana's fisheries law the way it has been written.
That's where the issue of we are hearing or we are told that you guys are against the current bill.
We are against as an industrial sector, we are against certain aspects of the bill. But you see, the law is a tool for development. So if you identify problems that you need to solve, you don't bring back the old laws and amalgate them and then say, and add a few things. You need to identify the problem properly. You need to get various researchers to research into what the issues really are. And then you write the law to solve the problem.
And you think the current bill doesn't
The current bill, as it is like they've all said, we have too many scattered laws, so let's put them together.
Okay.
And add a few things.
Okay.
So you realize that most of the things in the old law have been repeated. But you see, when the law was written, our fisheries resources were at a certain level. The law was written to conserve them. Now, our fisheries resources are declining. So you write a law to rebuild your resources.
But last week you said the declining fish resource would rather be based on proper research of the and study of the behavior of the fish.
That's what I'm saying. So now you write a law to rebuild your resources. And when you are doing that, you don't write hard laws.
Okay, explain.
You do a framework and you let the research lead the law. So if you are losing your Sardinella stocks, how do you write a law to protect your Sardinella stocks?
Yes.
And to rebuild your Sardinella. So what gears would be available to, and you do that in collaboration with the fishermen. And we saw that in the US, that they have a commercial fishery center that works closely with the University of Rhode Island, which works closely with the regulators, and then they all agree that we are protecting these stocks. So this, based on the fish behavior, we cannot use this type of gear so that we could protect them. And we could not fish in these particular areas because we want to protect them. You see, when you extend an IEZ, doesn't mean you are protecting the fishery. It only means that you are making it more costly for some people to fish and making it easier for others to mess the resources up. Because if the resources, a lot of the vessels fish in the Western region, because you have a lot of fishery resources there, but you have a lot of essential habitats also around that area. That is why you want to have a protected area around the Cape 3 Point, because we have our reef, coral reef around the area. But it's the same area you also have your oil installations.
Yes. If there is a spillage today...
So you need to now manage the situation, and that is where you need to have a proper marine spatial plan to now identify what areas you need to protect, what areas are open to fishing, and what areas you could do oil, and what areas you could do a certain type of fishing and not a certain type of fishing. It's not about extending an IEZ. You only say some people who are Ghanaians cannot fish in our waters because we believe they are not Ghanaians. But you see, when I have a business, you can't tell me that a Ghanaian registered business cannot do the business in Ghana. And I explained last week.
Last week you said
that the 12 nautical miles is the entire territorial sea. How do you then say that as a Ghanaian registered vessel. And I explained to you that when the vessel commits an offense and you take the vessel to court, the vessel would have to be served as a vessel. So the service
as an
would have to be pasted on the vessel, and you show evidence that the vessel had been served. So the vessel is an entity on its own, registered as a Ghanaian vessel by the registrar of ships at the Ghana Maritime Authority, and being licensed or as a corporate entity. So how do you then say that you cannot be in Ghana?
What will you have the president or the minister do with the current bill?
Probably we need to go back and look at.
They should bring it back.
We need to look at a number of things in the bill. Look, we raise an issue that tuna is large pelagic. It is a straddling stock. And when we say straddling stock, it migrates from country to country. Its management is under ICAT. So in November, every year in November, we go to ICAT to make decisions. And the decisions we make at ICAT, when we go, the first thing we do is to have what we call head delegates meeting. Then we have a presentation by the scientists. We call them Standing Committee on Research and Science. And it is based on their recommendation that decisions are made as to how much tuna we can catch or how much tuna we cannot catch. How much fish aggregating device we can use. So every year we may vary the rules at ICAT. And when the rules are varied at ICAT, it means that we have to vary those rules in Ghana. Unfortunately, when you have a hard law that puts the tuna and all the other sectors under the same, and in the NDC manifesto, it's clear that we need to have a tuna development authority. Different from the Fisheries Commission. So if you have a tuna development authority, we could look at things like this. That how do we maximize the benefit of one
and be able to
do all of
things like this? The oil, I'm very much interested in.
You understand? So you need to have a separate law that governs the tuna. And we say, even if you have not gotten there, in the law, can you put division will look at tuna sector issues separately? It didn't reflect.
So you want it to come back.
We feel that we need to now write the law based on the science and the availability of resources and how we want the resource managed. The situation you find in the West is not the same situation you find in the East. Because, you see, you have a lot of anchovies in the East and around South Pond. So most of our tuna vessels fish around Kita areas and around South Pond. They don't go towards the West. The West has a bit more of smoother bottom. So you have the trawlers fishing more around the West. And so even though it's the same sea, you have variations. So you cannot apply one simple law to say, I'm managing that's why you need...
It makes it very problematic then.
That's why you need to understand what you are managing. Managing fisheries is not the same as managing any other thing.
What we'll try and do would be to get the minister herself, and also speak to her, specifically on the law, and how it will favor your industry. And maybe we'll come back to you again when we get the minister.
Yeah, I think you should speak to the minister and the executive director of the Fisheries Commission.
Yes, we will. But you've enlightened us so much, and let me say thank you to you.
Thank you
to you for your time last week and this week. In fact, even though you came on Eyewitness News.
Eye on Port.
No, Eye on Port. Ni Amafiu. I got it right now.
Yes.
So Risa is the Vice President, National Fisheries Association of Ghana. When we need anything fisheries, we would rely on you, we would come to you for the wealth of knowledge that you have.
I'm just a fisherman. There are experts. There are experts out there that you could talk to. The university has a lot of experts.
But I'm still excited about how you move beyond just the fishing and the produce that you can produce from tuna oil for medicinal purposes. So we'll be talking about some of these things, and we'll make sure we talk to the minister also. This is The Bottom Line. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Kwesi Afriyie. Good evening.
Smart, bold, unapologetic. This is Annie Ampafo. The voice of reason, a force of media. She's the one Ghana turns to every Monday morning for the headlines that matter and the conversations that shape all of us.
And on the basis of Article 34, that's the Directive Principles of State Policy, we